Welcome to Victorious Parenting. I'm your host, Arabella Hill. Now's the time to transform your home life and make parenting a breeze by learning and applying new strategies. Let's get into it. Today I want to talk to you about something that it's a little bit funny, but it's very poignant and we all do it. And it's called complexity bias. And I'm going to go into a bit about complexity bias and how it might relate to you and your progress and the things that you want and to achieve as a parent. So I was having a conversation with another mother today about my material, about my book and my course and everything like that. And she was saying to me that my book is too simple, therefore it isn't valuable to her. And so I challenged her on this. Imagine I had given her my 500-page psychology book, which is just one of the many books that I had to study at university to get where I am today. Now, if I had have done that, that's a very complicated book, right? It's very complex. It's very, very in-depth. However, it would have been so complex and so in-depth, it would have been almost impossible for her to actually take any real value out of it and then execute on it. So sometimes we can think that simplicity and value equate the same thing, and they don't. Just because something is simple, it doesn't mean that it isn't valuable. The difference is that we really need to execute on these strategies. That's when we're going to see change. See, change can be difficult for some people, and most people, they just want to kind of have things good now. However, what does it really take to get to where you want to be? It takes change, and change is a process that is more internal than anything, and not all of us want to change. I'm not going to just hand you strategies that are just going to magically change your life just like that. You have to work at it. You have to execute on those strategies and make that change within yourself. So this complexity bias, this is actually a psychological phenomenon, and it's not just relating to this situation. It's relating to like every situation that you might face in life. And I'll tell you why we have this fallacy. So complexity bias is a logical fallacy that leads us to a conclusion that because something is simple, it is not valuable, and that the complexity equals value. So if we come across a book and it's too simple, we can begin to have this logical fallacy that, well, it's so simple, why would this work for me? It's too simple, right? So it's not valuable. But then what happens if she had the 500-page psychology book? Very complicated, extremely in-depth, but finding nuggets out of there that you can actually draw from it and then apply to your life right now would be so complicated, would take such a long period of time that the likely chances are she would not have executed on it anyway. So sometimes we actually tell ourselves these lies in order to give ourselves an excuse of not to execute on things that are going to give us change because we're afraid. So if you are afraid of change, you're afraid of what is on the other side of it, you can end up having these kind of illogical and fallacies in your mind to kind of explain away why you aren't taking action on a certain something. Oh, it's raining. I'm not going to exercise today because I only ever exercise outside. Okay, well, I was going to apply these strategies today, but my child started screaming and I have had a few hours sleep and I'm really, really tired. All kinds of different excuses that we can give ourselves not to take action. And then we can look at things and think, well, it's just too simple, I'm not going to bother. So the reason why I believe in this
postmodern society, we have this complexity bias is because of the media, the dreaded media and marketing, because the media likes to take things that are to appear super luxurious. Like, for example, what's a luxury car? A Mercedes-Benz, right? So you see a Mercedes-Benz commercial and it's not like really simple. They go into all the mechanics of it and this whole lifestyle and how they've poured their time and the effort and everything into it. So you get this representation within yourself that this car is valuable. It is luxurious because it was complicated to make, and it's so much more complex than, say, a Honda or something like that. And it's not just about the look as well. It's about what's under the hood. So, and that's what people are buying, right? And of course, a Mercedes is better driving wise than a Honda, but that's a car. We're talking about a material object. We're not talking about life changes and intrinsic things here. So we can end up confusing the external with the internal, and they are very two different things and require very two different sets of strategies. For example, I've been listening a lot about Tony Robbins lately, and one of his most excellent strategies is so incredibly simple. Anybody can do it. And one of his strategies in every single meeting that he has, he gets people up and alert and being spontaneous out of nowhere. It's such a simple strategy. Anybody can do it. Anyone can rev you up and get you to act spontaneously. But there is a psychology behind why he does it, and it's so effective. In fact, it forms the foundation of all his other later strategies, which all, by the way, are completely simple. They're just layered and they're just executed in the right way. And my earring just fell off. That's wonderful. I'll take the other one off. They're executed in the right way. So simple does not mean less value. Simple, in fact, is good when it comes to creating internal change within ourselves. We don't want to make things any more complicated than what they really are. We don't need that in our lives. We need to take the complicated, make it a bit simple, and take one step at a time, because nobody's coming to rescue you, not as a parent, not as a woman, not if you're a father. Nobody is coming to rescue you out of your situation. No one is going to prescribe a magic pill and boom, your kids are just like so well-behaved angels. It doesn't work like that. It takes work, but you can learn off of the back of other people. You don't have to go through the same pain as others have before you, because you can learn what works. And what works is often so simple. So if you would just take this challenge today, I'm going to challenge you all today, for everyone that has bought my book or has some other challenge in your life that you're kind of wavering on, you're not really sure about executing because maybe it's just too simple, not really too sure about it. Challenge yourself. What do you in your life right now have complexity bias over? Is there something in your life that you're saying, this is too good or this is too simple, it just can't be valuable? I would challenge you to have a deep think today into anything in your life that might line up with what I'm talking about, and ask yourself, is it really not valuable? Or do I just have a complexity bias? Do I just think that because it's simple, it isn't valuable? Have you acted on it? That is my next question. So what I want you to do today, if you say yes, there is something you've been wavering on because you think it's a little bit too simple or whatever, I want you to act on it. Just try it out. Whatever it is, a strategy in a book, a piece of advice, act it out and see for yourself. because we can end up talking ourselves out of the most amazing things in our lives that can cause the most amount of profound change and give us what we have always wanted and always dreamed of, because we perceive, because it's simple, it isn't valuable. And that, my friends, is a psychological fallacy, and I would like you to get into it and deal with it today. Do you have this fallacy? Because we all do, but we have to challenge ourselves. And if so, what in your life, recently or in the past, have you thought that it's too simple, therefore not valuable? Let's have a discussion about this.
If you would like access to more parenting resources and a big supportive community, I'd like to invite you to our Facebook group, Victorious Parenting. I give regular content every single day, and we have a unit section where you can find all the best content. There are some short form and long form content in there, like the Grey Rock Method and how to deal with sibling rivalry. And as well, you'll get to be a part of a great big community of parents who are becoming victorious just like you. We'd love to have you join us in Victorious Parenting. Discover the 7 biggest mistakes parents make that can lower their child's self-esteem forever. PromotingSelfesteem.com.